All right. So guys, I put everyone on mute and so few ground rules I want to request everyone. This being a webinar, I request everyone to keep your videos off. Okay, that way people will not get disturbed and everyone will be on mute. I'll only unmute the speakers when they have to speak. And if you have any questions at the end, we will have a Q&A round. So please type your questions in the chat box and I will ask the relevant speakers accordingly. Okay, today we have 3 speakers. It's going to be a very interesting webinar and I'm really looking forward to conducting this one. So before we start, I'll very quickly talk about IBG because I know I can see some non-members here. So IBG is a fabulous platform. It's a chamber of commerce. We call it the New Age Chamber of Commerce, where we bring people together and we help our members get business, get contacts, get connects. And it is founded by none other than our dear friend, dear mentor, Mr. Vikash Mittersen. He's the president of IBG. And he's absolutely passionate when it comes to helping people. I have never seen anyone with as big a heart as him. He has an open door policy. You can walk into his office, just one phone call. If he's in his office, he will welcome you. So Vikash, I would like you to speak a few words before we take this forward.
So I don't want to harp on the same thing. This Corona thing is putting people down all over the world. I'm happy to see that most of our members are not bad. They seem to be happy generally.
Yeah.
The others outside in my connect are very bad, very poor off. So what I just started saying, that at the end of this whole period, it's probably be August or something, I want everybody to say that we are not too bad and we are looking forward to the future. Yeah. And I'm trying to make, Priya and I are trying to make some new things for the future, which will roll out by and by. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Vikash. Thank you so much. So as you can see, a lot of planning goes into IBG when it comes to thinking about members, and that is what excites all our members, and that's how our members are very happy. Now, we have some very important pillars for IBG. Siddhi and Girish, they are the pillars. They tirelessly help all the members. They are on their toes, and they help everyone. And a big thank you to Priya. She is our CEO, and she's the one who conceptualizes a lot of new things. It's absolutely great that Priya, whatever you've been doing for IBG. So a big thank you to you. So let's start. I've already told the ground rules. Everyone will be on mute. Try to put your video on off. And if you have any questions, you can type in the chat box. And make sure if you have questions for any specific speaker, then mention the speaker's name. All right. So the first panelist is Monisha Basakhetre. Monisha is a dear friend of mine. She's a beautiful person. She is fabulous when it comes to work. She comes with over 20 years of experience. By looking at her, you cannot tell that she has 20 years of experience. She holds a postgraduate degree in Human Resources and Industrial Relations from the Institute of Labor, Law and Management, Hyderabad. She's Executive Director of Prompt Personnel. There she heads Temporary Staffing Division for over a decade now. Currently, Monisha heads permanent recruitment, IT and HR functions at Prompt Personnel. It's her own company. And her partner, I can see, Suhas, he's also online right now with us. Currently, so being an avid traveler, she has had opportunity to travel across the globe and interact with various dignitaries from HR industry. And being a people's person, Monisha has built an extensive business network over the years. So Monisha, welcome to this webinar, and we are really looking forward to hearing from you.
Yes.
So you can just say hi to everyone before we start your session.
Okay. Thank you, Dipesh, for the kind words and the introduction. Thank you, Vikash, for giving me this opportunity to be there today here on this webinar and share my thoughts. Thank you, Priya, for conceptualizing this entire webinars with all our members and having a platform for all of us to share our ideas. Thank you so much. Thanks, Siddhi and Girish. You have been of great help to us. So thank you so much. And of course, today, good morning, all IBGNs, my members, my co-members who are here. Some of them I have definitely met in some of the meetings, but some of them I have not met. So warm welcome to all of you all too. So over to you, Dipesh.
Thank you, Monisha. So Monisha, I just talked about your company Prompt Personnel, but I did not tell what you guys do. So very briefly, can you tell what your company does?
Okay, Prompt Personnel is 2 decades. We have completed 23 years in our business. We are an HR staffing firm, pan-India. We do staffing services. We also are a total HR solutions. That is, we give labor advisory services. Apart from executive search, which is recruitments, we take care of clients across industries, telecom, retail, essential services. Healthcare is something which we got into recently, much before the lockdown, thankfully for us. And business is doing good. Thank you so much.
Nice. So just so that people understand the magnitude of your business, can you name 3 of your top clients?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I said, so that people will understand the magnitude of your business, can you name 3 of your top clients? I know one of them for sure.
Okay, my top 3 clients, which I'm servicing at this point of time, is Tata Communications.
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't know Tatas? So we are there with them in the telecom division. Mm-hmm. And we have been servicing Tata for over 3 decades now.
Can I just give the names here?
Okay.
Tata.
DMart is another important client of ours.
Right.
We have been servicing them again for another 6 years. Mahindra is another important client of ours. So nice. We are there with all 3 big clients. Yeah.
So yeah, I can see you are servicing big clients. So
yeah, yes.
So that helps our members to understand that the experience that you bring is tremendous. Okay. So I'm gonna try to make this interactive, and I have a few questions that I formed for you, which will hopefully help our members as well. So my first question to you is, how can we ensure productivity and successful engagement of employees post-lockdown?
Yes, a very important question. And I'm sure all the members who are there today attending this webinar would want to know inputs regarding this. Now, friends, I do not have to mention that all of us are going through a pandemic situation out over here. All of us have faced the brunt. Similarly, even my company also has gone through this, although we are into HR services and although we are catering to clients whose offices are still functioning now. It becomes a little difficult, definitely, because the major change that has happened for all of us is virtual work environments. We were all happy doing work from our offices, a 9-to-5 job or 9-to-7, 9-to-9, and fulfilling our business needs. But that entire environment has changed. We have suddenly been thrown out of our offices and have been asked to work from home. And I'm sure most of us who are here have never worked from home. For that sake, even we have never done that. And this was a first-time experience. And having your workforce, your entire workforce working from pan-India offices, suddenly working from home, the entire structures, the desktops, the desk, the tables, everything is gone. People are sitting virtually. You're not connected to them. You're not seeing them. There are no tea coffee meetings. There are no boardroom meetings. There's no the hello, highs and the greetings that are happening. So how do we ensure that our people, our employees who are now sitting at home, working from home, are giving us those productivity levels? It's a tricky situation. It's a catch-9 situation, actually. But then there are answers to this. Things can be streamlined and we can bring productivity into this. How? When we started work from home, guys, what we did was we ensured a seamless process of logistics for all our employees. We made sure that all their laptops, desktops, all their office materials, everything was properly taken care of and transported safely into each one's homes. We made sure of that. The second thing that we made sure of was the IT team, the technology team. We made sure that this IT team and admin team went to each and every member employees' houses and ensured that their broadband connectivity, the software was installed properly in the systems, and seamless technology solutions were given to them. Because for the next 45 days or till God knows when, these were going to be their offices. And at no point of time, the company would have any kind of delays or fallbacks because of technological problems. So technology was something which we made sure very, very carefully that we took care of. The third thing that we took care about while we were sending our employees back home was calming their fears, their anxieties. Please understand, guys, as an HR, I had to handle a lot of situations when we declared that we are not working from tomorrow in our offices. Office is going to be shut. There were a lot of questions in everybody's minds. There was so much of ambiguity. People were wondering, is this going to be the end of this organization? Am I even going to get my salaries? Are these people trying to get rid of me? Is this another way of telling me a bye-bye? So we as HRs had to sit down, console, make them relaxed. And this was done much before they could start work from home. Now, what about work from home? Now, once everybody started getting to work from home, and we had our first round of emails and conversations, what we did was we started taking care as a first priority of the mental health of the employees. We did not bother to ask them about, okay, did you reply to my email? Okay, did you look into that document which the client has sent? It's still lying with you. No. We first asked them, how is your work environment? How are you enjoying? How are your family members doing? Are they enjoying you working from home? Is everything comfortable for you? Is the technology really working for you as we have set it up for you? So we tried to make them very, very calm, peaceful, stress-free. We tried to conduct a few engagement programs for them. Now that they were missing all their colleagues, they were missing their managers, they were missing their team leaders, we started Zoom meetings, wherein all the employees could start looking at each another, feel good factor that yes, we are all there, we are connected, nothing to fear, nothing is going out of the window for you. So digital has really helped us. We started with a lot of phone calls, Zoom meetings, and we started telling all our managers now that your teams are sitting virtually, you are sitting at some other place, you have to develop a regular routine, a routine of work schedules, wherein you will log in at a particular time, you will log out at a particular time. Again, here, we had a software installed in our systems. Okay, this was an app which we made sure that all our employees installed before they left for their homes. And this was an attendance app. So this was a face reading app, and the minute people would log into their apps and give us their attendance, it was work from home or work had started. Emails would flow from managers to team leaders to senior leaders, from the management, everybody. We also ensured that the management did a lot of hand-holding to these guys. We were continuously sending them emailers assuring them not to worry, salaries will be paid, not to worry, not to get stressed. Yes, we are giving you flexible hours, but at the same time, we are ensuring that you give us the productivity. You give us the trackers on the Google Sheets and make sure that at no point of time you will miss out on the targets that we have decided
So, Monisha,
before the lockdown.
you just
Yeah.
mentioned about,
Yeah.
golden peace that salaries will be paid, don't worry. So my next question to you will be like a follow-up question where a lot of people are struggling, a lot of businesses are struggling. So how do they figure out this portion of paying the salaries for what kind of employees? What are the rules, laws that people should keep in mind when it comes to paying salaries and wages?
Okay. Okay. See, salaries and wages was a tricky situation, right, for many of my other colleagues who were there in the industry. Now, I was lucky that I was working with industries who were having sustained businesses. I mean, there was employee turnover, people were working, because my clients were in telecom and essential services, and all this was still continuing post-lockdown. But what about my other colleagues in the HR fraternity who did not have such clients? They had clients in the retail, they had clients in consumer durables, and most of this, some of them had in hospitality, you know. So all this went closed, it was shut. And most of the businesses got shut, and then there was ambiguity, how are we going to make salaries?
Right.
Now here comes the larger question, okay? Now, we as MSMEs or leaders of our organizations were questioned, and we questioned the government as to how are we going to pay these salaries when the government passed a directive. Okay, all of y'all are aware, all of y'all are watching the news. Okay, because of these migrant laborers moving from our cities to their smaller villages, with the sudden lockdown, that is the lockdown 1.0 and the post-lockdown 2.0. Even now also after lockdown 3.0, we are seeing these migrant laborers movements because they became hand to mouth. They did not have any kind of wages. They were daily wage workers. That's when the government passed an advisory to all large corporates, MNCs, MSMEs, small-time entrepreneurs, startups, saying that you will be punishable if you do not pay the salaries, right? And they said, if you can come and challenge this, otherwise face the imprisonment. And they gave us a lot of sections. That's when many cases were filed by a lot of companies. As a matter of fact, I have data here with me which says that 12 petitions were filed in various courts across India. There were 5 in the Supreme Court, 5 in Kerala High Court, 1 in Delhi High Court, and 1 in Maharashtra High Court. All of them challenged this kind of an advisory which came from the MHA and the DMA, asking us to pay salaries in such kind of a shutdown and lockdown situation. And we were all confused as to how to go about this. That's when we as advisors or as labor law or human resource advisors started speaking to various people in industries and started giving them some kind of, regulations or some kind of tips and tricks of how to sail through this entire process. Now, salary, let me tell you, dear friends, is something which is very dear to an employee. At no point of time, you can say, I will not pay this salary. I will lay you off just because my business is not working at this point of time. Guys, please understand, this is the time to show empathy. It's the time to show care and concern to your employees. These guys were there with you in your good times. Now it's bad times, so why not handhold them? Why not take care of them? Yes, but we also need to have some kind of a relief because we are not getting the cash flows. We are not getting our outstanding payments from our businesses. So how do we help these guys? So there are 2 ways how we can tackle this situation. One is we can start doing deferred payments towards salaries. That is, we can start making 3 different components of our entire salary structures. Okay. First thing is remove all the extra freebies that you were giving along with your salary package, which we call as a CTC, which has conveyance, mobile, food allowance, that is these Sodexo passes. You have coupons in there, you have washing allowance, you have uniform allowance. Start removing all these extra components. Look at just the basic component of the salary. Start dispersing just that. But before doing this, friends, talk to your employees, conduct meetings, make them understand, guys, we are going through torrential times. It's not possible for us to pay you your 100% salaries, which we were doing previously. So now we are going to give you a basic component of salary. So that is one methodology. Second methodology, what you could do is also, like I said, divide your entire organization into 3 different categories. The categories which are below 25,000 or 15,000, do not deduct any salaries for them, friends. They need that money. We don't want our employees to have a hand-to-mouth existence. Let me tell you guys, these days will be remembered forever. So pay that 100% component, which is definitely below a 25,000, below a 10 or 15,000. Pay 100% salary to that worker in your organization. Now for a worker who is about 25, who is at a senior executive, who is at a team leader position, look at a small percentage of cut of 10%, 10 to 15%. And for people who are falling in the management cadre, who have got more better salaries than the rest of the crowd, look at a 20% to 30% cut in their salaries. And as leaders, I think even if we forego our salaries for a month or two, it's not going to make a big difference in our businesses. But then definitely it's going to make a rather big difference if we have our employees bonded together. This is one way that you can, take care of. Another way, let me give you, friends, is calling your salary as an advance payment and not as a salary. I'll tell you why. Most of our organizations are getting covered under statutory compliances, which is PF and SIC. So apart from paying a salary, we are also compelled to pay for their statutory obligations, where you have an employer and an employee contribution. We could do one thing of rephrasing the entire salary word as an advance payment. Call it as an advance payment and do not attract the statutory benefits. Give it to them and say, this is an advance which I am paying you for the month of April. People have successfully paid Dipesh for the month of March because everybody were in a very empathetic and everybody had just come into this crisis situation. Employees had already worked for 22 days in every organization. It was just a matter of 10 days that the employer had to take the burden. But for the month of April, it was 100% salary cycle which he had to take care of. So calling this salary component as just an advance that I am paying to you can be conveyed to employees and can be paid. So employees and workers have to be paid salaries and they cannot be devoid of this particular wage. Otherwise, you are most welcome to lay off your employees and go for litigation in the courts, Supreme Court of India. I hope I have answered this question, Dipesh.
Yes, thank you so much.
Dipesh.
So I'm sure people have got a very good idea about these kind of things. Any further questions, if you all have for Monisha, for whatever you all have heard from her, please feel free to ask the questions in the chat box. Thank you so much, Monisha, once again. And it was really, you put this in such a simple term that I think it's very clear message that you have given to people. All right. So thank you so much. Let's move on to our next speaker. Okay. So guys, our next speaker is Mr. Raymond De Sousa, or Coach Raymond De Sousa, as we call him. He's a Punekar. And in fact, I was taken aback when first he spoke to me in Marathi, and I'm like, you have such good Marathi. And he's like, I'm Punekar. So he comes with a background of philosophy, social work, and management. He has worked for over 15 years in the corporate world with brands like Tata Motors, Oberoi Hotels, Hinduja Hospital, and ITC Limited. He has been working with entrepreneurs for almost 2 decades now, and he's been coaching them, helping them, mentoring them. So I am unmuting you, Raymond. Raymond, can you unmute yourself? Raymond, can you hear me?
Done.
Yeah. All right.
Loud and clear, Dipesh.
Yes. So Raymond, a few words, just say hi to people, and then I will ask you the question that I have.
Thank you for your very kind words, Dipesh. And looking forward to creating value for all our members in the best way I can.
Thank you. Thank you, Raymond. All right. So my question to you, Raymond, is isn't it a paradox that entrepreneurs who are supposed to be experts in innovation and being street smart seem to be quite at a loss in dealing with the current scenario?
Yes. Dipesh, can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
You'll have to.
I will. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Raymond?
Yeah. What happened was, okay, I'll manage without that.
Okay.
Because I've done it. Okay. So just repeat your question about.
So I said people are experts when it comes to their own subject matter, but when it comes to
Right.
dealing with current situation, they seem to be at a loss. So your comments on that.
So Dipesh, first thing is, what we are not aware of is there are two unconscious operating paradigms that we operate in. One is called resource-based, and whoever gets into business or entrepreneurship operates only from this paradigm. This paradigm means I need something, and if I don't have that something, I am stuck. So I call this the resource-based or the competence-based paradigm.
Okay.
Opposite to this, we have the resourcefulness-based, passion-based paradigm. In this paradigm, you need nothing. You are unstoppable.
Yeah.
And successful billionaires have intuitively taken that path.
Okay.
And they move from level to level. Second is, the resource-based model connects you, has evolved from the industrial age and the information age. Okay. Whereas the resourcefulness-based paradigm connects you to the age of connection and the age of consciousness. Zameen Asman ka fark hai dono mein. You really can't compare the two. One is way superior and holistic. Third most important difference is, in the resource-based model, we have no maps and we are lost. We have no idea where we are going, what will work, who should we collaborate with, what should we do? Absolutely nothing. Everything is trial and error, and we have glorified failure as the only way to grow. In the other model, we have crystal clear maps. So it's very clear what will work. Where are you? Where do you need to go? What should you take up? Who should you collaborate with? Very clear rationale on what will work and what will not work. So one guy described it to me in 2 words: pure rationality. You look at any mature profession, all protocols are spelled out, very well codified. And this is where the model I'm using in entrepreneurship is very well codified. And this is what makes the difference. So the key difference is resources are outside of us. And what is outside, we cannot control. Resourcefulness is inside of us, that is fully under our control. So adopting the right model is the most important step. Second is the business model that we use. Now, if you take margin on one side, on one axis, and volume on the other, you get 4 different combinations. Low margin, low volume. This is obviously not sustainable, so we cross it out. Diagonally opposite, you will get high margin, high volume. You would all love to be here, but again, this is not a sustainable model. You may get spike, but it is not consistently sustainable. So you have only 2 viable models. One is high margin and low volume. This works for premium brands and for extrovert entrepreneurs. You cannot choose the opposite. You will fail. On the opposite side, you will have low margin and high volume. This model works for introverts and for popular brands. So let me give you an example. What happened to Kingfisher Airlines and Jet Airways? Their initial model was high margin, low volume. They were a full service brand and they were doing so well. They went to the opposite model to try and capture the market, and the business simply went. This is the science behind this. You cannot just flip your business model. You have to have the right model. You need to stick to only that business model. Third is the distinction between management and entrepreneurship. A lot of people, because they are well qualified, think they make excellent entrepreneurs. No. Management is management, entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. Management is about ensuring efficiencies. Entrepreneurship is about structurally creating, sustaining, and distributing wealth. Managers work for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs hire managers and apply management principles. And therefore, when entrepreneurs will fail when they fail to apply wealth principles. So wealth principles must supersede management principles. Let me give you an example. Amitabh Bachchan was what there are only 8 ways to create wealth. So Amitabh Bachchan is called a star profile. 1984, Indira Gandhi was assassinated. He left films, he left his path and joined politics to support Rajiv Gandhi. He changed his path and lost his reputation in the Bofors scandal. He again changed his path. He became a creator, started a company, got down to running it himself and went bankrupt. He again destroyed wealth. Then came Kaun Banega Crorepati. He came back as a star profile, back onto his natural path, built back his wealth, paid back everybody, built back his reputation, richer than before. These are scientific principles, and this is what entrepreneurs need to educate themselves about.
All right, thank you so much. That was a nice detail that you gave. So a follow-up question to that is, Raymond, today we see a lot of enterprises in a financial mess. So what do you think
Yes,
would have happened and how one can avoid that pitfall?
the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is to put business cash flows over personal cash flow. So what happens is, when we as entrepreneurs don't have money, we actually become the biggest liability of the business. So this is the most important thing that we need to keep in mind, that we need to separate personal cash flow from business cash flow. We need to separate personal net worth from business net worth. Most of us do not have the discipline to keep to this. This is one. Secondly, there are 3 financial statements: cash flow statement, profit and loss statement, and the balance sheet. And there is a sequence in which you need to follow. As a small business person, as a professional, your number 1 priority is cash flow. So you need to keep your eyes on your cash flow statement and ensure that this is healthy. Second is, as you become an enterprise owner, you need to now focus on your profit and loss account. You need to keep an eye on your receivables and see that you're always in the black. Third is, now, when you're looking at diversifying, you have got multiple businesses, you are looking at investing in another business. This is where your third statement becomes very important, your balance sheet. So when you follow this discipline and all 3 statements are healthy, you are paying dividends for at least 3 years, you can now consider yourself for taking an IPO or going public. This is a sustainable way to grow. So that brings me to the second very important part. Most of the time, commercial businesses have focused on only profit at any cost. The world has changed now, inevitably, and the shift has been very decisively to sustainability. So you need to maintain a dynamic balance between capacity building and capability building. So 3 words I'm giving you: profit, people, planet. One cannot do without the other.
Well said. Thank you, Raymond. And my last question to you, Raymond, is, would you like to share your biggest success story very quickly to our members?
Sure. So a little background to that. There are 5 types of personalities from the point of view of entrepreneurship: innovators, sensory-based people, extroverts, introverts, and those who are spiritual-minded. And you have got, they focus on 5 different things. Innovators will focus on innovating. Sensory people will focus on rendering quality service. Extroverts will focus on nurturing relationships. Introverts will focus on details. And spiritual minded people will focus on contribution. And therefore, you have 5 specific business types: product based, location based, market based, transaction based, or impact based. So, this is what makes for the background. Now, when I met Mr. Dinesh Kochar, okay, he was focused on building a network, whereas what I suggested to him is he is a deal maker. He needs to focus on connecting people. And this is where I helped him to make that particular connection. And he has sent me a testimonial. Can I just read that, please? One sec. Yeah, I got it. So I am a 3rd generation entrepreneur who was continuing with the family business of textiles, mainly at Nepal and Pan India. Coach Raymond De Sousa made me aware that I am a deal maker and excellent at connecting people. And this is what I should commercially focus on. He strongly suggested that I should get out of manufacturing as it will stress me, as it is not aligned with my personal strengths and natural skill sets. Also, the returns would be far less than what I was capable of. I heeded his advice and over a period of time greatly managed my finances and worked intensively on my collections. As a consequence of Coach Raymond's professional advice, I've successfully achieved new business heights and curated an excellent network of experts, manufacturers, and service providers. Even during this COVID crisis and consequent lockdown, I've been able to seamlessly continue functioning commercially very effectively and without any stress almost every single day. This Akshaya Tritiya, I launched Vivan Pharma Private Limited with 2 other directors, which would definitely not have been possible without this new perspective. Thank you, Coach Raymond De Sousa, for enabling me to reinvent myself, business, and finances so easily and effectively, and for firmly setting my trajectory as a serial entrepreneur. I strongly and confidently recommend Coach Raymond De Sousa to entrepreneurs who are looking at growing themselves and their businesses exponentially. Dinesh Kochar.
Wow, very nice. Thank you so much. Thanks. So yeah, I'm sure
Thank
people
you,
have
Dipesh.
got a different perspective from you, and I will request people, if they have any questions for Coach Raymond, please feel free to type the questions, and they can of course directly connect with him later. What we have done is in the beginning itself, in the chat window, we have put the details of all the 3 speakers there, how you can connect with them. So before you exit, please make sure you copy paste or whatever, you get the details. You can directly get in touch with the speakers. So thank you so much, Coach Raymond, once again. Really appreciate your thoughts and inputs.
Thank you, Dipesh.
All right, so we have our 3rd and final speaker. Her name is Hiral Saimy. Hiral is passionate about creating magical brand experiences. Her professional journey spans over 2 decades across top telecom, financial, and financial service providers. She's known to create human-centric culture that reflects in profitable businesses. She loves interacting with people, enjoys experimenting with food, and grow businesses through magical experiences. Very interesting. She's also a valuepreneur, currently mentoring the board of few firms that are into financial consultation to SMEs, a lifestyle clinic, and also a real estate boutique firm. So, hi Hiral, welcome to this webinar. Please unmute us. Yeah. So just say a few words, say hi to people, and then I'll start asking you some questions.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Very happy, and I do mean a very happy time to each of you. So let's start.
All right. So Hiral, so when we talk about new possibilities, okay, do you have a magical mantra for people?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very simple. Connect with your vision and find new possibilities, keeping that in the center.
Wow. Can you elaborate? How one can do that?
Yeah. Um, See, all of us have a purpose, whether we as entrepreneur have a brand or we are a brand ourselves. All of us are driven by a purpose, a vision. And all entrepreneurs have had like great journeys. So many years they have invested in meeting that vision. Now, this time which is there was unexpected, and everyone is actually emerging and evolving by the days and understanding how we cope with it. But this is the best time for us to reconnect with our brand vision. For example, um, one of the diet, a specific, health meal provider who had tied up with gyms between few suburbs within within Mumbai. His vision was to constantly ensure everybody gets healthy food and stay healthy, because health is the greatest wealth. So his vision in today's time him to re-cater to all these clientele of gyms by making it a cloud kitchen, a tie-up which also helped him to synergize with a lot of others. The only center point was to keep vision in the center, provide healthy food. In the bargain, in fact, a lot of social causes are getting taken care of.
Interesting. Uh, so based on what you said, how do you see the world by 2030?
Oh, beautiful one. Because
Corona free for sure.
while this period is completely unexpected, while this period is completely unexpected, it's so amazing to see how every person, every brand is just up to doing some or the other thing, especially like Vikashji mentioned even in our IBG, that everybody has something to look forward to. Nobody is upset, nobody is crying. This crisis is not the CRYSIS. It is really critical, and everybody is making good for it. So three of the things that I am very personally I care about is good health and well-being, where we'll see end of all preventable deaths under 5 years of age by 2030 across the globe. We'll see diversified ways and innovative ways that has helped economic growth to a great extent. Lot of things will come up with this. A very responsible consumption and production. Today you see, because everybody is equal, whosoever is there, everybody has gone to the ground zero to understand that the Maslow's law of hierarchy, where what is the need, what is the luxury, what is the comfort, everybody knows, and everybody has started living as per that. So this is going to make by 2030 a globe which is going to see a lot more reuse, recycle, sustained and beautiful environment around.
All right. Thank you so much. So, I know we are falling short of time, so we will have to quickly move on to question answer session. So guys, if you have any questions for our speakers, we will take them in the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, you can directly get in touch with the speakers. Okay, Mr. Vipan Mehra has asked a question, and Suhas has already answered that on the group. When salaries are cut, then we should take a letter from the employee stating the employee accepts the reduction. And Monisha, I see Suhas has already replied to that, saying a simple consent to the proposal can be taken from the employer. Anyone else, any questions, please post here. I'm just checking if there are any questions. So we have posted the details of all the three speakers. So before you exit, please make sure that you copy the details of the speaker so you can directly get in touch with the speakers at a later date. So Vikash has asked, Monisha, what is the employment situation post-corona?
Can you unmute me?
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Vikash. Yes, post-corona employment situation is going to be happening only in those industries which will be catering now, like the healthcare industry, the essential services, the agricultural sector. So these industries only will be functioning pretty well till such time that we find a vaccine to the corona and we are able to reinvent our businesses again and bring back businesses, flourish our businesses together. Currently at this point of time we are going to open, after the 18th of May, we are looking at a lockdown reopening. At least in red, in the green and the orange zones, some of the places have already been reopened. Today, there is a very nice article about how auto retail has already started functioning. Maruti Suzuki with 50 to 60,000 employees have already started working. Construction workers, especially for the roads, have also started. So in pockets, industry is functioning. Wherever there is no containment zones, where there are orange as well as green zones, yes, the industry is functioning in those places. And slowly and steadily, as we see that the curve is flattened, we will see that again businesses will come back to functioning regularly. But yes, one very important topic which all of us have to keep in mind is after post-lockdown, when we get back to our offices, social distancing, sanitizing, and following the health and safety guidelines given by the DMA is very important, and all of us have to keep following this. This is super, super important for all of us so that we maintain those hygiene factors within ourselves. Yes, please. Mr. Vipan, yeah.
Vipan, type question in the chat box. You can't speak.
Dipesh, I would also like to answer one question. Somebody has asked me about NEEM.
About?
NEEM. Okay, NEEM was, it was a scheme which was started by the governments for hiring employees through an apprentice mode. Okay, now that is being withdrawn. It is totally gone. Okay. NEEM is no more there. The new functionality that we have now here, the scheme that we have here, is called as NAPS, or it is known as National Apprentice Promotion Scheme. Now, this is something where we as temp staffing companies are propaganding to various industries, telling that you start taking people under this scheme. You recruit people under this scheme so that you are saved that statutory benefits, wherein you don't have to pay the statutory benefits for people under this particular scheme. So we are trying to tell employers where they can save their costs.
All right. Yes. Nice. Thank you, Monisha. Thank you. Somebody has said, can I get some format of agreement which would be favoring my company before candidate joins the company? But Mohit Gupta has asked, but my reply to that will be, ideally you should engage a professional who will first understand your company and then he will be able to give you a better guidance. I don't think one standard agreement will fit all companies. So that is my, Monisha, what do you think?
Well, actually, we do make the agreements as per, the standard statutes mentioned in each organization. We also try to standardize it in the basic sense of, if they are fall into a particular industry. So industry wise also we try to, give them a standard format. So we know that there are certain compliances that they need to follow or certain things that they have to follow. So based on the industries, yes, definitely we can, And we are there, Vipin. You can always contact me. My company is there to help you out for any kind of help in, preparing appointment letters.
Question was
Also,
not from Vipin. It was not from Vipin. It was from Mohit.
okay, from
And
Mohit.
so you're being nice, and I will say in different words, please engage prompt personnel and pay them some money. But I was thinking of that, and Suhas arrived, prompt personnel can help you at zero fees. So pura matlab, ab main kya bolu, Suhas? But anyway, I'm glad prompt personnel can help you. So Mohit, please get in touch with Monisha and Suhas, and they'll be delighted to help you at zero fees. Hey Bhagwan.
One more thing which I wanted to also tell all my friends here in IBG is, guys, post lockdown, and if your offices or your businesses are not in the red zones, and you have the privilege of reopening your businesses, then please start preparing your SOPs or your guidelines and policies right now, today itself. The sooner, the better. And if you need any help on that, we are here to help you. Please get in touch with us anytime.
Thank you, Monisha. Thank you. All right. So, guys, so it's 12. So we'll have to end this. And before we say bye, I would like to request Vikash to quickly say hi to people, and then Vikash, I've unmuted you.
So it's been a great journey today. Absolutely top speakers. I didn't know IBG had this wealth, but we should take advantage of it going forward.
Yeah.
There's one final thing I want to say. Everybody understand, and maybe I've said this before, the whole world is going to change once we're off Corona. It is never going to be the same again.
Yes.
So start thinking from now what your business is and what changes you will need to make once we hit the ground running. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vikash. And I would like to invite Priya Pansare for closing remarks.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, first of all, to all our speakers. We had a wonderful interaction today. A few updates, quick. We are tying up with all international chambers over the world and trying to get leads from their members to us. Not only that, we are also tying up with a lot of chambers in Bombay as well as other parts of India also. So what will happen with that is the tie-up that we have will help us give the leads from their members too. So in this coming few months, we can expect more queries, more referrals as a part of this program. So let's hope for the best.
All right. All right. Thank you, Priya. And before we say goodbye, I would like to announce the next webinar, which is on Tuesday, 12th of May. Of course, you'll see details in the group. But Mrs. Rajalakshmi Rao, she's going to be the speaker for that webinar. And she's the first woman national president of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. She's the national president, so she sits on the All India panel as the president. And I'm very fortunate that I get a chance to work with her on the national committee of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. She's also an ex-judge, a very resourceful person. I request everyone, 12th May, 11 a.m. to tune in. The details will follow soon. So with that, I would like to say thank you to everyone.
In fact, we will.
Yes. Priya?
In fact, we have 2 webinars in this coming weeks now. Till the May end,
Yes.
We have 2 webinars with all good speakers. So I would request everyone to register ASAP and get max out of them.
Absolutely. Thank you, Priya. And thank you, everyone. I'm going to quickly unmute everyone so people can just say byes. And
everyone, one very important perspective that I felt is important for each of us to know.
Right.
Hi guys,
आपके कहाँ पे सर training होते हैं?
can you all hear me?
Yes.
Very good that we all are so concerned about our business employees. One very critical thing as we proceed, to keep in touch, your distributors, with your customers, because customers are long term. There are means and ways. What big brands are doing is something that we can do, and this is the time to be with your customers, because they will be there with you long term. That's it.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
very much.
I sent you one query.
Bye.
Monisha, I sent you one
Two ways. One
query.
is that. One is you as an advance.
Monisha,
Whenever you
Thanks a lot
you
for the
can
meeting
look at the
today.
steps. It's up to you.
Thank you.